It's St. Patty's Day. Do you remember? Well, you were never really big on going to the bars and stuff, right?
Not really.
Like you
I've
remember,
always been like a homebody. The only reason I went out to places was because like you'd be like, all right, let's go. I'm like,
you're like, all right, I'll go for a drink. Uh, the one St. Patty's Day that I went all out, I remember we got up, my buddy and I, we got up and we went out to the Irish pub, which is called Molly Bloom's, lined up at 11 a.m. because they opened at noon. Started drinking at 11 a.m. or sorry, at noon at Molly Bloom's. And I mean, that was it. That was my big St. Patty's Day. Got home at 6 p.m. We went home for some reason. We're like, okay, we're gonna have dinner, then we're gonna go back out there. And guess what happened?
what?
We both fell asleep. We didn't end up going back out.
Seems right.
That was it. Hey, look at all these people. Oh my god, I'm so embarrassed. What's going on? Bennett Geek, Matt Rubin, and JT.
Morning, friends.
Good morning, guys. I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Best day of the week radio. Oh man, so kind. Mo's here. Mo's got a new pick. I like that pick, buddy. Good morning.
I'm trying to fix my camera. Fresh spot.
It is time for Fresh Spots. You guys ready for some EGM? Let's get into it. Oh my god, Dave. What are you doing to me? I'm one-handed. Hang on. There we go.
Easy one hand. I just had an idea. What if we got together and reshot that video, but with us?
That's a good idea. I'm all for it. I'm all for doing stuff in person. I think it'd be fun. One of my favorite YouTube channels is Red Letter Media. They watch their whole thing is they watch bad movies, right?
Yeah.
I would love to do something like that in the same room where we play bad games. You know I love bad games. You love bad games. Maybe I love bad games more, but I'm just saying. That'd be great. We could do that. We could sit there and go ha 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 he ho ha. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. With the ha's and the he's and the who's and the ho's.
It'll be fun. Oh, look at these two troublemakers. One from Facebook. Look at this guy. This punk rock guy. Nathan, what up? Good to see you, brother. Oh man, look at this guy.
Fresh pot.
This guy's real trouble, this kid here. Mr. McCallum, good morning, sir.
Everybody keep an eye on that guy.
Severus is here. Morning, all. Large, beautiful snowflakes coming down. Perfect for warming up to coffee with Jay and WillLo. And
Heck
TJ,
yeah.
our good buddy TJC is here.
What's going on, TJ?
Morning, Orlando is here. Good to see you. Christoph, hello from Poland. How you doing, buddy? All right.
Dzień dobry.
That what he said. What he said. I know a few things from my time dating a Polish woman. I don't remember though most of them.
Yeah.
What else? There's. I don't want to say like I'm pretty sure she taught me swear words, so I don't want to say the only things I know and then they're swear words. So, just
or you could do it. I don't know. Maybe you would reach out to the Polish population.
The topic of the week, my friend. Did you pick up the Star Wars Battlefront collection?
I did not. No. I was tempted. I got so many games to play. I can't.
I didn't either. I was really tempted until I saw the Canadian price of $49. All right, it's Star Wars. It's going to have a premium tag. we'll talk about just a little bit before we get into this, just as a little warm up here. We'll talk a little bit about the online debacle. So it launched on Steam at whatever 12 a.m.
Yeah.
Thursday night. It came out Friday. Only 3 servers were up, which would house a total of I think 200 players. So there was tons
Sheesh.
and
That's it.
tons of people trying to get in, and so it was much like Overwatch 2, where you're perpetually looking for a game and nothing's happening. Nothing's happening.
Mm.
My question to you is, in 2024, and I think we talked about this 3-4 years ago, how can you launch a game in this state, and how can you launch a Star Wars game, and why is Star Wars just always doing terrible things lately? I don't understand.
Well, well, we've talked about Star Wars before. I don't think they know what they want to do with Star Wars, and they're just flailing. And like this classic bundle, like, how can we get people interested in Star Wars again? People love those Battlefront games. Why don't, instead of making a new one, why don't we just bring out some of the old ones and cash in on that?
Yeah, all we kept hearing about is, EA brought theirs out, and everyone, including you and I, were like, this is not like the Pandemic one. This is Pandemic, the video game company. This is not like Pandemic. It's not nearly as good. We should like it, but it's just missing the soul
Mm-hmm.
was missing from it.
Yeah, it just slapped out for money's sake. That's how I feel on it, anyways. I saw some friends playing it, and I guess like some of the server issues have been fixed, but because they were obviously on and playing, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I just feel like there's better stuff to play. Like, I've been enveloped by Helldivers. I feel like Helldivers is a pretty good kind of take on a lot of that. Like, I feel like I'm a Mandalorian in Helldivers.
They look cool with the capes and such. I love
Yeah.
the one shoulder capes. Rob says Star Wars is not what Star Wars was. Indeed. And it's something I've learned to live with. We let go, but we're talking about a game. I think Battlefront 1 was 04, 2 was 07, around there. And those games were fine. They were perfectly great.
Yeah.
So again, and this is for me too. I wasn't super impressed with the Dark Forces remaster. I purchased that because I never really got into Dark Forces.
Mm-hmm.
It was okay. I don't think it's super great or anything. That's just me. But the Battlefront, I was watching single player gameplay. They did nothing to it. Even the menus are so ugly. Like they did nothing to it.
Yeah, it's just a direct port.
Direct
Like
port. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I was tempted because of the nostalgia factor. They almost got me because
Same.
Nostalgia's hard for a lot of things, and
Especially
I
as you
suckered
get
into it.
As you get older too, I find it's a lot more difficult to say no to that stuff. Especially for me, when it says Star Wars, I'm like, oh man, I gotta check it out. But there's already a PC version of Battlefront 2, 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, I should just say those are just fine. This one, if they completely redone it from the ground up, sure, let's get behind it. The online's got some issues. We'll deal with that, but I still think it would be worth it. But it's just a straight port. Anyway, I was just wondering if anyone out there had played the Battlefront collection.
Mm-hmm. I think Mac brings up a good point down there too.
Let's see. Willie has that's why you want it, because it's got your name on it. Willie has a great point. There are so many great games out now. They can't release half-assed games anymore and expect to get all the acclaim they used to. Yeah.
Yep. And like, I feel like this is when Starfield came out, we had to talk about Starfield, right? Where I really enjoyed Starfield, but it's has its issues and it feels like a dated game, and a lot of people were upset when people were like not really hot on it. But like last year particularly, and this year is shaping up to be another amazing year, like you just can't release a AAA title that's mediocre and expect it to like hit off and be like super successful. There's so much competition out there. It's crazy right now.
And I would like to thank you and a lot of people in chat for talking about Steam. Because of work, having to get a new PC last year, getting into Steam and being able to play these games. Almost every game that I'm enjoying right now, for the most part, like off streams, is like by just indie companies that I've never heard of. I think it's fantastic. I love it. So I hope
a lot of my gameplay lately is just indie titles.
I hope we see that trend going forward. Rob says, like TV TVs and movies, there are so many options how we can afford to okay, hang on. Like TVs and movies, there are so many options how anyone can afford to coast off of IP is beyond me. It almost instantly causes a backlash.
I'd agree.
Yeah, I totally agree. JT with the $5 super chat. All right. I did a bit of research for our favorite controller manufacturer, Bishu, and they had an ad in 1993 for the Angler controller, so there's still hope.
Is that a fishing controller? Like,
it sounds like it, yeah. Yeah, buddy, thank you for the
best
super chat. Much love.
The best fishing controller was still on the Sega Bass Fishing for Dreamcast.
The Dreamcast, yeah.
I could find that again. I would play the crap out of that.
Rob wants to know, here's a question of the day. What remastered collection was a home run? Can we name one? I'll let you guys think about that in the chat. Will, I'll let you think about that. And I will say, just to kind of continue this conversation, there is one company that does it perfectly, and that's Capcom. I'll stand by it. Actually, Square. Square is good too, although they take a decade to bring it out, but that's fine. If you're going to redo a game, I guess redoing and remastering is different.
I was gonna say because if you're thinking of like the Final Fantasy VII remake, like that's an entire overhaul, right?
I would rather see that though, man. Let's leave the classic where it is, because I've talked about Resident Evil 2, the PS1 version, Resident Evil 2, the remake. You could play both and enjoy both still. It's not like because the remake is out, it makes the other one irrelevant. So I like that. I like that. And plus Capcom does do remasters. I mean, how many times has Resident Evil 4 been out? On every system, on every generation, right?
And then they still kicked it up a notch with like the latest remastering of Resident Evil 4.
Need more caffeine. Yes. Yeah,
this is a good one.
Reading's not going to be so good over here. My vote is the Disney Afternoon Collection. I don't know what that is. I'm not too sure what that is. Cowabunga Collection's good, yeah.
Yeah, the Cowabunga Collection was good, Castlevania. But I feel like those are just like, they didn't really do a whole lot to those, right? They just kind of re-released them.
It's a collection. And here's just something, food for thought, and then we'll move on, okay? Who's going to play Battlefront 1 in this collection? Think about it online. I'm just saying.
Who's sure somebody will boot it up once and then say, okay, thank you.
Yeah. TJ says, I still have my fishing controller and Sega Bass Fishing for my Dreamcast, Willie.
Hey, Bash Fishing.
Bash Fishing. Easy ET all the way. This guy and his ET bat stand.
That's really cool, TJ. I wish I kept on to ours back in the day.
Oh, it's the NES Capcom titles. Oh, that's cool. That's pretty neat.
I don't remember that one.
I did.
Was that a recent one, Rob?
What am I doing here?
I'm trying to think of other remasters I've liked. That's like a remake. Yeah, I think Capcom does some really good stuff. Would you consider like those Bionic Commando and Striders like remakes or remasters?
Well, the side-scrolling one's what they call a soft reboot.
Yeah.
And then the 360, the 3D one, that's...
Well, we're not talking about that one. Nobody wants to talk about that one.
That's a sequel, yeah. But I don't know. I'm just saying for $49 Canadian, I think it's 35 or 39 US. It's too much money for what you get. And especially launching it with servers that don't work. It's just a sad state. These are AAA titles, by the way. Like, it's craziness.
You know what's funny though? We have AAA titles now, and then apparently they're moving into some games being labeled as quadruple A.
Oh, is that a thing now?
Yeah, because like the increased budgets after it gets to like a certain like financial requirement, like they go into like quadruple A listing.
Do you want to hear some ridiculous, dude? I promise we're gonna move on. Speaking of that, take a guess. Nobody Google it, okay? Take a guess how much Spider-Man 2 cost to make. Spider-Man 2, the game last year. Take just a guess how much that costs. I'll wait.
450 million.
You overshot it. Easy, big shooter. 300.
Well, that's not like super overshot. Well, I guess $10.
Yeah,
that sounds about right. Like AAA titles nowadays, like they are easily in the hundreds of millions of dollars. That's why like it's so hard. That's why there's that the whole debate right now about exclusivity, right? Because it's starting to show that like platform exclusivity isn't being profitable because the cost of making AAA titles now has gone so far and beyond that limiting the amount of people that are able to have access to your title is actually hindering it.
Yeah. You know I love Capcom. You love Capcom. Mm-hmm. I'm just throwing it out there. Have you seen the price of Dragon's Dogma 2?
Yeah. But that's
$94.99 Canadian. $94.99 for a Steam game. With no box, no physical disc, nothing. It's just digital. $94.
What? How much is sometimes the console versions are actually cheaper at that point too, weirdly enough. I wonder.
Like that's a little out there.
Yeah, but they've been touting like an increase in cost for games lately, right?
In Canada, that's only a $5 increase because current gen stuff is $89 for PlayStation, for Xbox in Canada.
Yeah.
So it's still, but just saying the word 90, it's like, oh my god. So that's $18 with tax here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's still $89.99 in store for a physical copy. I am excited for Dragon's Dogma 2, though. It looks really good.
How is a physical copy in the store cheaper than a digital Steam copy? 0 cents made.
It's probably because well, they're all moving away from selling physical, so they just want to keep it the same and get rid of it. In a year's time, like it would be harder. You're just gonna order physical stuff online, and then it'll probably be more all the same.
The dinosaurs like me who still want dirty old discs lying around.
Yeah, I'm still debating because I do want to get Dragon's Dogma 2, but I don't know if I want a physical copy or getting a digital one. I know it's $5 cheaper, but
well, guess what time it is, Will?
Are we actually going to read a magazine?
It's Christmas time, 1990. Oh my God.
5-year-old Willie.
40-year-old Bartlett. Here we go. 1990 Christmas preview, which has Strider for the Sega Genesis front and center. I also got this game for Christmas. One of my best gaming memories of all time, but I've spoke about this a lot on other streams. EGM's exclusive look into future games, including boom, Mega Man 3, G.I. Joe, Turtles 2, Dick Tracy, Gremlins, and a lot more of just AAA greatness.
Yeah, I can't even read those though.
Dragon's Lair, Days of Thunder, Mickey Mouse, eSWAT, Vermilion, Shadow Dancer, Sonic, and so on. Are we ready to go? Ready to crack this?
So.
You guys got your coffee strapped in?
I'm excited. RBI Baseball 2.
Christmas 1990. Wow, exciting. So exciting. Now, this is the kind of way that I remember EGM. We're starting to get into the at least a little bit of color. This is how I remember it. Man, I'm plugged up.
You're still sounding really nasally.
Oh, my ears. Shadow Dancer. You ever play Shadow Dancer?
Yes, I played it with you at your house.
We did?
Yeah, long ago.
Yeah, this was the arcade port for the Genesis, the one with the wolf, which is really cool. We have the Game Gear in action, so the Game Gear has still not been released. Trampoline Terror? What the hell's that?
That sounds awful. What kind of who thought that would be a good title? Trampoline Terror.
No idea.
The next jump may break your leg.
I've often found that physical media is always cheaper than digital. How does that make sense, though? When I bought Ghost Recon on Xbox, it was $17 for physical, $42 for digital. How does that make any sense?
It's because you have the known availability of a digital product, right? But a physical one eventually will go away, other than buying it secondhand, right? And then they always reduce in price because they have to move stock and get it out of a warehouse somewhere. Digital products, you don't have to do that. It's just on a server.
But I always thought it was manufacturing costs. The plastic of the case, the plastic of the disc, the paper of the inserts.
Nah, shit. When you mass produce in the millions, it costs like peanuts.
B-Man, what's going on, man? Welcome to the stream. RBI Baseball 2 is still my favorite baseball game of all time. It's a good game. All right. Steve's editorial, the difference between first and last. We have always provided ourselves. Can we start that again?
All right. Take 2. You ready?
It's searching out the hottest new developments from within the video game industry. We are equally proud of our ability to print the same information first before rival gaming mags and often before companies themselves know. Recently, however, our competitors have attempted to set the record straight on a number of important gaming topics. While I like to hear information on exciting new products like the Nintendo Super Famicom and the Sega Game Gear, many of the references in these articles are so far off base. I feel obliged to comment. Ooh, look at this.
Dun, dun, dun.
He's calling out other game magazines.
So do they have as many typos?
Early game drama. Packers, good morning, buddy.
Morning, Packers.
Good to see you, dude. Super Famicom has been up in the air for months, having undergone a revision in design and it's left it more compact. With the new name, the Super FX, the 16-bit Nintendo will be shown to Japanese game players for the first time November 21st, when 300,000 of the machines are reported to go on sale nationwide. Basically, he's calling out other magazines for not providing accurate information. And what guts! I love it. EGM is ruthless, man.
Mm-hmm.
And they got to be calling out what GamePro. I can only imagine. Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe Nintendo Power?
If Nintendo Power got it wrong, there's something really wrong, right?
Yeah. But there's always that, like, Nintendo being Power being like the main Nintendo platform. There is going to be some kind of bias or something towards it. So maybe them being like more open to other platforms, they feel that they are a little bit more unbiased in their opinions.
Does it say, look, it's EGM editor Ed Simrad, along with our what? Ed's the editor now?
Hey, Ed.
Steve out? Do you read that right here?
Yeah.
EGM editor Ed Simrad.
Yeah, you can see it on the side though. Senior editor Ed Simrad, publisher, editor-in-chief Steve Harris.
Oh, okay. So Steve's still at the top. Okay, I got worried there. I thought Ed had taken over with his evil powers. I was like, oh my god.
Ed's taking over.
EGM, I guarantee you, I've seen the future. You will still always be number one for a very, very, very long time, and you will still have the best magazine of all time. So there you go. Oh,
it begins.
Oh,
this is the first time we've seen this, right?
This is very, very famous ad that is still memed to death today. This was the first attack that Sega made on Nintendo. Of course, their 16-bit Genesis had been out for a little bit now, and they're attacking the inferior Nintendo machine, which is the NES. What does Genesis? Genesis does what? What nin? How's that funny? Oh, what Nintendo don't. Look at this lineup, dude. Remember, you ever play that?
I have played that one.
Oh, I did. Wicked.
It's a good game. Moonwalker, good. I see all these sports titles and I'm like, It's just me though. I'm not a sports guy, right?
Before the athletes, right? We talked about this. It's really strange. They got Tommy Lasorda, who is one of the best baseball coaches in the MLB at the time. Pat Riley, NBA, and Arnold Dusty Palmer. And I mean, the best boxer of all time, Mike Tyson, was taken, so they went with Buster Douglas. I guess they signed him. Oh, there you go. There's Joe. That's actually not the final cover. That's interesting.
Ooh.
Genesis can't do this on Nintendo.
Ooh. Buster Douglas. Okay. Who's the golf guy? Is it
Arnold Palmer?
Oh, I can't read that name. It's really like that font is not very good for that background.
Arnold Palmer. And this guy, Spider-Man, I don't know. He sounds like he might turn into something popular. We'll see, I guess. TJ says you just flicked past the game advert for Rocket Ranger. It was an awesome game on the Amiga. It was. And my buddy had an Amiga, and I always remember thinking, God, I wish my consoles could do what the Amiga could do. So yeah. Genesis does, but Bo knows the power of the slogan. Or was that was Nike, man? Come on, dude. You think Bo wrote that? Come on, man.
Bo Jackson.
Come on, Packers. Come on. All right. You're up, buddy. This is, of course, the letters to the editor. One of our favorite sections. Sometimes they could get a bit sassy, a bit heated, but they're always entertaining-ish.
Ask the Joker.
Where are you? Oh, okay, the top center.
Yeah. First of all, I love your Meg. I've got a Sega Genesis, and I just flipped through your number 10 issue. I saw the Batman game for the Mega Drive and went crazy. Sorry. I don't know. He said it on me. He's super excited for the Batman game. I've heard two things. That it will be released later in the year and that it will never be released in the States because of a copyright or something like that. Maybe. Which is it? It looks awesome and I would like to get it. Sorry, Brad. But not even Batman himself will be able to stop Nintendo and their contracts, which prohibit any Batman games from appearing on rival systems. Wait, what? How? That seems crazy to me that Nintendo had a block not allowing Batman to appear on other platforms.
I'm guessing because Sunsoft made Batman that it's that exact Ninja Gaiden style Batman that they made. That version of Batman can't be on anything else, which is why the Genesis one is completely redone from the ground up. That's what I'm guessing. Because you can't. There's no way you could say you could go to DC Comics. He was 20,000 times bigger than Nintendo at this time, and say, yeah, Nintendo's like, yeah, you can't use Batman. They're like, what? Who are you? Like, what?
Yeah,
we're gonna put Batman wherever we want.
Exactly.
So it would be a thing with Sunsoft where the exact same game could not be on a different system. I think that's what that is.
Yeah, but they're prevent any Batman games from appearing around. Okay.
We gotta understand Nintendo had the position of power right now, right? So they would look at a company like Sunsoft, who I assume was a little bit smaller at the time, and just say, okay, we want to license your Batman game. You know, you guys have made it, but here's on the contract, you can't license it on TurboGrafx, Genesis, or any other system. And what's Sunsoft going to say? No to Nintendo?
Yeah, but I feel like DC would still have a bigger play in that, being like, as it is their franchise and IP. So that would have come up to somebody in DC and be like, hey, they just want to have it here and like nowhere else.
No, DC just licenses the Batman. Just like Disney licensed Spider-Man to Sony. They don't really have anything to say about it. You know, and it's like, yes, you can use Spider-Man for, I'm sure 1.5 billion of that went to Disney, right? Just for them to be able to use it. And then Sony, whoever makes it, right?
Yeah, that seems weird to me for some reason. Anyways, Mega Drive version due out in July will more than likely never appear outside of Japan. Womp, 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 womp.
But it did. We got a different version. The Genesis one was good. It wasn't as good as that NES one. The NES one was amazing.
Yeah, the NES Batman. What a game.
A Mega Dilemma by Tim Jacobs, Springfield, Illinois. I recently subscribed to your All Sega magazine, Mega Play. Although I'm excited about receiving my first issue, I'm also worried that you may start reducing the amount of coverage you give to your Sega products in EGM, which I also subscribe to. Should I be worried about a reduction, or will you duplicate your efforts? Before we get into it, Tim, let me
Yeah,
first
Tim.
stop and say thank you for subscribing. Like and subscribe, everyone. Hey, by the way, everyone, make sure you like the live stream right now, please. Thank you very much. See, they were even saying it back then. As far as the introduction to the Mega Play is concerned, its appearance will in no way affect the number of pages and amount of attention devoted to the Sega 8-bit or 16-bitters. Instead of replacing the coverage you're used to in EGM, Mega Play will expand upon it, offering more pages, more photos, and more info that's 100% Sega. Sega fans should look for the subscription ad in this issue.
Looking forward to it. Dun dun dun. You get to subscribe.
Back then, video games weren't as big as they are now. DC probably didn't think too much would come of the game, so didn't care about it. That's true too. Yep. Stanley says, "I'm vengeance. I'm the night. I'm Nintendo."
But Sega does.
I like how Tim was really concerned. I mean, he should be. He's throwing his money out there for a subscription, right?
Yeah.
But he's like, before the magazine is even shipped. Plus, if you remember a few issues earlier, they gave out a free Mega Play inside the EGM, right? So you kind of have a preview. I love how he's already worried. It hasn't even shown up yet. It's good. It's good.
Well, maybe it doesn't really specifically say how old Tim is. Maybe it's the first time he's ever done anything like this, and now he's concerned. When you're a kid, you get worried about things pretty easily.
Oi. Hey, Cutthroat's here. Just got done putting my groceries away. Cheers, buddy. Happy Sunday.
Ooh, what'd you get? Anything good? Any snackies?
You're up.
We read another one? Spinning Vertigo. First of all, I thank you for providing the best video game magazine around. I compared other magazines to yours, and it was no contest. You are superior in every way. I especially like your review crew section.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much, Samuel. Appreciate that. Oh, wait, that's not for us.
Damn. Secondly, I have a question about some video game terms. What is rotation? What is scaling? I've heard that they are complex arcade. Okay, you spelled that wrong. But anyways, type movements. And I still can't imagine what they are. Can you please elaborate? Yeah. Here's some terminology for all you folks out there. Scaling and rotational effects are indeed big-time arcade effects that will have big impact when they arrive on the home systems. Such as the Nintendo 16-bit. Rotation allows the computer to move either part or all of the screen image as if it were a plate spinning. Scaling, which is used on the Atari Lynx, simply lets the system move objects from a faraway background into the foreground smoothly. While some machines can accomplish similar techniques with programming, no system that is out now can do it in hardware. If you want a good example of both of these functions in use, visit your arcade and play Assault.
Huh.
Well, that was your tech tip of the day.
That's a good question, Samuel. Thanks for writing in. We do appreciate that here at EGM. I beg to differ. All right, let's get some spice. Marcus. No last name needed. Just friggin' Marcus from Garden Grove, California. How could your review crew give Mario 3 all 9s and Bonk's Adventure mere 7s and 8s? I own 3 systems and recently had a party at my house where 5 couples and their kids ranging from ages 6 to 16 came. With their choices on all systems, NES, Genesis, and Turbo, everybody wanted to play Bonks without exception. Bonk is better, is all that I heard everyone say all afternoon. You know what? They're right. Bonk is better and deserves more than 7s and 8s.
I
wrong.
Still opinion, but I do think Bonk deserved better than what they reviewed it.
It's not better than Mario 3, Marcus. Sorry, you're wrong.
It is not better than Mario 3, but it is still a great game.
It's an amazing game. I agree. While our team sticks by their numbers, we appreciate your reactions. Remember, our reviews are structured to help give you an idea of the game's playability and worth. That's a safe answer. Do we have 2 pages? What is this?
You want to read this one? It's at the top. I think it continues.
Oh, yeah. Okay. As we've said before, our review crew is structured with 4 different opinions to give you more detailed impressions of a particular game that's not tainted by one person's feelings like Ed the Hater. While you must not always agree with our reviews, the multiple reviews do provide more insurance against bad ratings and over or underblown. Okay. Yeah.
Look at this service. The Game Service. 12 top games a year for only $99.99.
It's like something I would have drawn on my binder in high school.
Could you have drawn that well in your binder in high school?
No, absolutely not. What is this? What is it? Top 12 games a year for only $99.
It's like a subscription service, and it looks like they send you 12 games for $100 a year.
But one game costs $100. I don't understand.
Make it simple, make it fun, and make it affordable. About 27 cents a day for you to play and enjoy the best games all year long. I don't know.
Let's do one more, Willie. Yes and no from Dino over here from New York.
Hey, Dino.
That's a fast one.
Hey, yo. I'm hoping you'll be able to tell me if Stratas will be developed for the Genesis or Turbo here in the US. Yeah. There's another one. They're all just asking, yes, for Genesis. That's the response.
I have an important question. Is Russell War going to be on Genesis? It's still my favorite state arcade game. Patrick Collier from Quebec, Canada. Yep.
Final Fight is totally awesome. Is it coming out for what system? Yes. Yep. But changed drastically for the Nintendo and subtitled Street Fighter 2010.
That's incorrect. That game was not.
That's like an entirely different game.
It was not based off of Final Fight. It was based off of Street Fighter. It's called Street Fighter.
Oh, loosely.
God. That's a verbal for you guys at
Battle Chess.
Oh, you like that?
Oh, Battle Chess. The chess was the shit back in the day, man. Oh man.
The old game is not the same.
I loved Battle Chess.
Look at circa 1989. You were just playing with like little baby games, and then in 1990 they come to life.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy style.
Did you ever play Battle Chess?
No.
It was essentially chess, but every time you move the pieces together, they have like animation of them like fighting.
Oh, I played a version of this. All right, it was called Star Wars Chess on Sega CD, and it was so embarrassing. Because the loading times were so bad. So, like, Stormtrooper would come to take over R2, and the fight loading lasted like 10 seconds. Not good. BXGO, good morning.
Morning, BX.
Matt says Battle Chess was effing fantastic back in the day.
Yeah, see, Matt gets it.
Oh, boy. The best section of the magazine, our review crew.
Low G, man. I don't think I've ever played that one.
Clax, or on NES. So, Steve this month, the Consumer Electronics Show has left Steve overloaded with new softs. Ugh. He's running through them so fast it's hard to tell which he likes the best. Mega Man 3 seems to be his favorite.
Good choice. Ed, having just come back from Japan, with tons of new carts, Ed is now playing the 16 meg super graphics Ghouls and Ghosts. Woo! In between his reminiscing about his time with the Game Gear.
Super graphics. Oh. Low G, man. Let's start there. For the NES, by Taxon, 6 out of 10 from Steve. Here's why. Low G-Man is a game that has all the ingredients of a great Mega Man-style fighting game. The graphics are good. The round definition, well done. The play mechanic, original. Animation, however, is choppy and detracts greatly from the overall enjoyment. Not bad, but not outstanding. I mean, that score fits that review.
That's still a good game. I think we talked about this before. Like a 6 and 7 is still a good game. It just doesn't do anything like groundbreaking or amazing. It's just, you may find this enjoyable.
Just above average.
Hipster Ed, though, gave it an 8.
Of course he did.
A very unusual yet challenging game. The super jumps are wild, but nothing when compared to the end of the round bosses. End of the round bosses? Just at the end of the stage? Anyways. Which are so huge, they extend up to 4 screens high. That's a lot of screens. Very good graphics, multi-directional scrolling, and a wild assortment of different scenarios to add variety.
Anybody in the chat ever play Low G, man? I could say that I don't remember.
I've never even heard of this game.
That's not the greatest screenshot either. I don't remember it. I remember the game. I don't remember playing it. Yeah, it's got a bright yellow box with like a big red G. Clax is a favorite as far as puzzle games go. Excuse me. This one developed by Atari. Tengen is a division of Atari. I love it. Anyone who hasn't played Clax, you should check it out. It's one of those hidden gems, like Columns on Genesis. That's another great one. Steve gave it a 7. This is Tengen's revenge against Nintendo. Better than Tetris in many ways, Clax introduces more options and strategy into play to produce a game that is just as addictive as Tetris. The graphics and sound are remarkably close to the arcade, but more diversity in play would be nice. It's a puzzle game. You say that about Tetris? Sorry.
Graphics.
I love them graphics. 7.
I'd give it a 6. I like puzzle games, and Clax is one which is just different enough from Tetris to give its own identity. Easy enough to learn, but difficult to master. It forces you to think in 2 dimensions, which is not the easiest thing to do all the time. The difficulty curve could have been steeper. So he wants it harder?
Well, Ed is the elite game. He's the first pro elite gamer, the hipster elite gamer. Severus says, I have fond memories of Clax. Underrated with average score of 7 here. It is underrated. Definitive version, in my opinion, is the TurboGrafx one. I love the way that one looks. The Genesis one is nice, though. Crime does pay. Lock and Chase. Oh, the old dusty ColecoVision game, Lock and Chase. Remember that one? It's like Pac-Man, but not as good.
I don't even think I've heard of this. It does look like they tried to make him look like Pac-Man, obviously.
It's like Pac-Man. It's like the same. Instead of running from ghosts, you're a crook running from the police. Yeah. Not bad, but very old. Crystallis by SNK. Our good buddies at SNK. Delivering some of the best games of the 90s for sure.
And Crystallis is amazing.
Yeah. Steve gives it a 7. He says Crystallis, I say Crystallis, whatever, Ryu, Ken, whatever.
Yeah, I'm going to choose Ryu.
It's Ryu. Ninja Gaiden. Gaiden. We're like opposites. He says things the wrong way. I say things the right way. That's the difference. That's
a lot of times I just like to say it because it bugs you.
How do you say... Oh, I'm not going to say it. I'll give it away. The red stuff you put on fries. How do you say that?
Ketchup?
Okay. You're not one of these people that says catsup, are you?
No, but catsup's an entirely different thing, isn't it?
No, that's just how some people say ketchup. Catsup. And it just makes me like it makes my teeth want to bleed when I hear that. Don't say that. It's ketchup. Anyway.
Oh, okay, hold on. I had to look this up because I was curious about this. Here we go. Here's the debate for catsup or ketchup.
Oh my god. Oh, look at this. Look at this guy coming in. Hey, you get making that forged steel over there, buddy.
That's a good way to do it. It says here the company originally called it Catsup, but soon switched to ketchup to stand out. Today, ketchup is the standard, while catsup is used occasionally in the southern U.S. So there you go.
Still Ninja Gaiden, not Ninja Gaiden.
It's just more fun to say like Ninja Gaiden.
Oh yeah, the Severus tomato. Yeah, I honestly don't know anyone that says tomato.
I don't think I've ever heard somebody say tomato, unless like in movies.
Cat soup. That sounds like that. Dargoon says, "I was always here." Pulp Fiction Uma Thurman joke refers to establishes catch-up. Oh yeah, catsup. Remember Pulp Fiction, that joke?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And okay. Sorry. We're going here. 7, Crystallis. Well, coming up short in terms of action and intensity makes up for these sore points by wrapping a great quest together with super graphics, terrific execution, and enough challenge for most. Not my cup of tea. Pretty good anyway. Hey, that's the old spirit, Steve. 7 out of 10.
I hate it. Should have got higher. Just kidding.
I never played it, dude.
Really?
Yeah.
Game's great. It's a really good RPG. I definitely recommend going back and playing that. It could be something you could do on stream. I think it's on the Nintendo Online.
Is it?
I think so.
They don't have much on there, buddy.
They really haven't updated that.
No, it's
Nintendo.
It's not, I canceled it. It's not worth it. Well, no, I haven't canceled it yet because I keep it for Majora's Mask because there's a nice HD version of Majora's Mask on there.
But also, it's like what, $20 a year?
It's a lot cheaper. Yeah.
So like, I'm like, at least I have access to these retro games if I ever decide to go back and play them. $20 a year really is like what?
That's the thing, right? It's like you always keep this. Well, I might want to play blank, and then that's how they get you, right? That's how they get.
But that's why I stopped Game Pass. But that was different because Game Pass was costing me $20 a month.
Yeah. Not worth it to you and me. I mean, I tried it. I'm glad I tried it. I'm glad I tried PlayStation Plus. I didn't get enough bang for my buck out of it. I think it's great though. Do
you know what gets me nowadays? We're going off another tangent here. We're talking about subscriptions. But like, how do consoles still have charges for multiplayer experiences? Like, you still have to pay for Xbox Live to play Xbox Online, and you still have to pay for PlayStation Plus to play games online on both those platforms. I don't understand it.
Do you pay for either of those?
No.
Neither do I.
Yeah. So you can't play online with your consoles unless you pay the subscription service.
Well, oh man, I don't even want to say the majority gaming is done on a console because that's probably inaccurate.
I don't think it's true anymore.
Yeah.
Especially over COVID, a lot of people jumped to like PC gaming.
There you go. Plain simple. Money grab.
It is, but it just seems so like at that point, if you have a PC, like that's what I do now is like if I have to play it online, then I'm like, I'm going to get it on PC because I don't have to pay that online fee to play it online with someone.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's I don't know how they get away with it. Same with like Blizzard and World of Warcraft. How they still charge for that, although that game's in rough shape. But
yeah, even Final Fantasy still charges. Like, well, Final Fantasy has like a free version up to like a certain level, and then like you have to pay for the newer content. But still,
Christoph, you're gonna go grab 2 coffees. Grab us one, buddy.
Yes, make that 4. Yeah, just black.
Thank you. Yeah, just black.
Piping hot.
I'm on all black, just from this gentleman right here. We were recording a show like 4 years ago, and I came down into the studio area with a big Tim Hortons coffee, which is our Canadian coffee. Will said something to the effect of, what are you taking that? I'm like, oh, double, triple this or that. And he's like, man, you should just do it black, man. It's so much better for you, and you don't get that insane crash.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but it tastes terrible. He's like, just be a man and do it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said.
So I did, and I haven't turned back. It's fantastic. You can actually taste the coffee, which is nice.
Yeah, and like coffee has a nice taste.
Yeah, black's the best for sure. 100%. Okay.
Anyways,
Ed.
Chrysalis. A very well-constructed adventure game with lots of different shops to buy stronger weapons, armor, etc. The quest is long and challenging, with the strength of the enemy rising at about the same rate as you. I feel like...
What? Ed, what are you saying, dude?
Does not get frustrating or boring this way. I gotta fill in that last line, what I'm gonna say. Does not get frustrating or boring this way. Ah, I made the quota. Steve, I did it.
Yeah. He's like, all right, Ed. Go back to playing your super graphics, you hipster. Mech Attack. Another SNK game. 5 from Steve. Mechanized Attack is an Operation Wolf clone. Ugh, I already don't like it. That, with the exception of a few areas, does little to expand the scope of the previous game. The graphics are not as good as Operation Wolf either. Could leave you wondering why you purchased this at all. Imagine buying this for $70, right? You get your Mechanized Attack. You get home, you got your new copy EGM. All right, you read it, and you're like, oh.
Like, what are you even doing with your time? Get out of here.
So bad. You just bought $80 on this. Spend $80 on it. Yeah, he told me to be a man. That's right. I didn't have a choice, Cutthroat. I had to be a man.
Man up.
Man up. Yep.
It's been a long time since there even was a fair game out for the light gun. Although Mech Attack doesn't offer anything new, it gives me a good enough reason to get the gun out of the closet. Offers good variety from joystick shooters.
Did you ever like those Operation Wolf style games, the shooters? I don't even know what you call that style of game.
It's a rail shooter, is it not? Like you're moving on rails, and then you're just the reticle's on there and you're shooting, right?
Side-scrolling rail shooter. Yeah, there you go.
I think if you have like the light gun peripherals, if it's available for them, that makes them a much better experience. But if you're just using a controller or even a mouse, they're awful. You know what it reminds me of? Is like those Mad Dog McCree games. Do you remember those? Whereas like FMB dudes like jumping out, they're like, ha! And you're just like got a little bit of time to move up your mouse to shoot it. Yeah, got it. Yeah, it's freaking boring. I don't understand how those games got so big.
Isn't that considered hate speech in Canada? What did I say? What's hate speech?
What do we hate on? Video games?
Mad Dog McCree and Who Shot Johnny Rock.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
They bring those out on everything still today. I think you can get them on your phone. It's just like C-list actors, just doing terrible
like it's awful.
Yeah, it's like free, give me all your money. But the good thing about those, the one thing I do like is if you do have the actual orange like pistol for them, they're fun because it's real time.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like the guy pull out his gun, boom, you're dead. That's kind of fun, right? It's almost like it feels almost like a police training simulator, or what I would expect like a police training simulator to be like.
Yeah, and in that regard, it's like that makes sense, right? Like Virtua Cop, like playing the arcade version of that is immensely better, or with the light gun peripheral for the Genesis. Right? But like if you were playing that with a controller, it's like the worst freaking experience.
Yeah, it's rough. Dragging that reticle across, it's rough.
Yeah.
Wizardry. I tell you, we got some bottom of the barrel NES games here. No offense to Crystalis, but these
Wizardry was like, I think that's like such a niche role-playing game thing, though. Like it's probably not gonna be hot on everyone.
Next soft. 4 eeks. Let's put this one in perspective. For role-playing fans, Wizardry is sure to offer some thrills, bearing in mind the fact that the game uses most of the common that's my fault. Most of the common advanced D&D features. For some others, it will be slow, tedious, repetitive, and boring, which makes it less than average. Well, I think all RPGs use D&D mechanics. I guess back then that wasn't the norm, right? But
yeah, and there was like that weird, wasn't it like the 90s, that like huge like taboo about Dungeons and Dragons stuff, right?
80s.
Was it through the 80s?
80s was, yeah, it was, you know, it was the killing teenagers were committing, I'm not saying the word, they were doing that to themselves, and it was causing a lot of depression, and people were getting so obsessed with their characters that the news stories were that if your character didn't make it in the game, then the player would also not make it because they were so into it. Just ridiculous. Because there might have been one case out of a million, so all of a sudden the whole thing is bad. I mean, that's been the case from the beginning of time, right? First, Black Sabbath to Marilyn Manson to Mortal Kombat. It's always been the case.
That's true. They are to blame everything.
Yeah, it was early 80s. Dargoon, do you remember that Tom Hanks movie? Remember the Tom Hanks movie where it was loosely based? It wasn't called D&D, but it was the same kind of game. It was one of his first movies, man. And he was like going to take a jump. He was going to jump because of the same kind of thing. He was so obsessed with the game. Yeah. Anyway. Satanic Panic, yeah. Wizardry from Ed.
Got distracted. I was reading chat. I was catching up. Wizardry is not a game for those with a shoot 'em up mentality. Instead, it is for those who wish to exercise their mind. It ranks above any NES cart RPG and is a fabulous game, but it's just too hard for the average player's level of patience. I.e., you can't be a dummy to play Wizardry. That's what Ed's saying.
Let me ask you this. Could they have picked a worse screenshot for Wizardry?
Yeah, is there nothing else in that game except for text? I remember hearing of Wizardry, but I don't know much about it.
It looks like a text-based adventure. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Who knows?
Hold on. Going back. Wizardry.
Mazes and monsters. Thank you. Thanks, Speedman.
There's graphics. There's graphics in it. It reminds me a bit of like Phantasy Star and Dragon Quest. So like you get a combat scene and it's like you get like these stationary figures in front of you. Right. So there are stuff they could have done better, but also the first thing I linked was a Wizardry and it has a naked lady on it. I don't know why. Oh my
god.
You gotta back away from that.
We're still in the NES era, which is great. Boulder Dash by JVC 5. Boulder Dash was a great game when it was released for computers many moons ago, but now, in the presence of more sophisticated action puzzlers like Boxel, it does not wear its age well. A good beginning game for younger gamers. This one left me unmoved. I sometimes think the crew at EGM just they're using a different language almost. I'm going to stick with that. That's why I'm having problems with it.
They're learning.
Unmoved. Let's get to the chat here. It's why they change in Advanced D&D. The second edition was more family friendly. Oh, because of the few instances. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I've never played it. I've still never played D&D.
I am planning to do a D&D night eventually. Yeah. If you want to try, we can work out something.
Do we have to dress up and all that? Because I've
you don't have to do any of that.
I heard stuff. I've seen stuff, and you've seen stuff, and I don't want to be a part of that stuff.
Yes, you do. You love dressing up.
No, I do not.
You love it. I always remember the days of you and your makeup.
Oh, the makeup's different. That's just everyday.
That's still dressing up.
That's everyday thing. I'm talking about like the Kylo Ren cosplay crap.
You loved doing that.
I did. And now not. And now not. What are we at? 6.
Oh, you want me to show you something? Here. The community on Twitch raised money for something that I have to do. And here's a little preview that coming up on the 30th.
Oh, Donkey Kong. You got to wear that?
Oh, I have a suit, buddy.
What? You have a whole suit for Donkey Kong?
Yep.
And you have to wear that? You're playing Donkey Kong?
Yeah. I'm going to play some Donkey Kongs as Donkey Kong.
Like the original Donkey Kong.
Yeah, like the retro ones. Yeah, probably Donkey Kong Country. It's my favorite.
Nice. That's great. That's going to be super fun. Awesome.
Boulder Dash. Ed says a decent puzzle game, which has you thinking as if you were playing a chess game. You must look at all the possibilities and guess what will happen. When you make each different type of move, only one path is correct. But which one? I really don't think that gives me an idea of what's going on here, Ed.
No, it's I don't know. I have no idea. Curb Stomp, what's up, buddy? Good morning to you, my friend.
Morning, Curb Stomp.
JT says, "Dang, if I had a Donkey Kong suit, I'd wear it all the time. Such restraint, Willie."
Mm-hmm. I may have already put it on.
I don't want to know about that, and I thought about that.
What do you mean, what? I had to do some promo stuff for it.
I don't want to hear about what you guys call that. That's fine. It's good. What? How do you say this next one? Kickle?
Cubicle. Yeah.
Oh,
I've actually played this. This game is great.
From Ireme, 8 from Steve. Kickle Cubicle is not fast action. It is not full of vile monsters. It is, however, probably one of the best action puzzle games ever to appear on the NES. With Pengo gameplay and cute graphics, ignore the look. This is one hot game. It's not for just kiddies. Okay. Okay.
Wow. Don't let the kiddie looks fool you. It's a great strategy game combining the block-kicking entertainment of the old game Pengo with strategy similar to that found in WillLo. Oh, that's why you don't like it.
Oh, no.
Starts easy, but develops nicely into a very challenging game. I remember having a good time with this, but I do like, I have mentioned I like WillLo 1 and 2, so
yeah,
this was kind of up my alley.
So would you say, is WillLo similar to like Bomberman, that kind of game? You know, Bomberman's a top-down mazy, but you got to kind of make your way. I don't know.
It's more like Bomberman's more about like eliminating the enemies and stuff. WillLo's like trapping them using blocks and stuff, and less like exploding stuff.
Well, there you go, guys. Kickle Cubicle. Go play it now on your NES. Check it out. Christoph, good morning.
Welcome back, Chris. I thought Christoph was here already.
Solstice by CSG ImageSoft. Solstice is beautifully drawn and thought out, with multiple levels to explore, hidden rooms and staircases and much more. The effort is made very difficult due to the awkward diagonal controls. But if you're persistent, you overcome them. I mean, it's like a Marble Madness. It's a 3/4 side view. Come on, get your stuff together, boys. Get your stuff together. You gonna review or you gonna review?
Yeah. A refreshing change from all of the Me Too type puzzle games. Why is there so much of a spread between those words? It's like five spaces, five spaces.
You couldn't figure anything to put in there.
Differently different. Thanks, Ed. But hard to control. Great animation, special effects, and fantastic music. Has a good difficulty curve, but keeps you interested in the game for all ages. Can this be the most generic of like freaking reviews? Like, seriously.
Listen, man. Ed's slipping, dude. I'm telling you, he's going to get demoted soon. He's slipping. Vickman, good morning, brother. How you doing? Good to see ya.
Morning, Vickman. Shingjin the Ruler? Oh, that's like a strategy type game.
Is this like Nobunga's Ambition? One of those? Looks like it.
Yeah, it's a finest in strategy game. Ooh.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. I was staring deeply into his eye.
There's a lot of reviews. We're still on NES. This is great. I love the reviews are the best part.
So is this like the Turbo Graphics version ported to the NES of Dragon Spirit? Oh, it is. Yeah. Hello? I thought the screen froze for a second.
One of the Namco's first licensed efforts to the TurboGrafx and now brought over to Nintendo.
Yeah, see, it's Dragon Spirit, but yeah, from.
I don't remember that. Yeah. So I would say yes, you're correct, sir. 7. So this one, yeah, originally for the Turbo, huh? While many will argue that the graphics in this version aren't as good as others, the real joy of Dragon Spirit is the solid shooting action and the new enhancements to uncover in the NES copy. Better than the arcade and many play moves. What the hell does that mean? This is what I'm talking about. You guys can make fun of us for like slipping and stuttering on these words. What does that mean? Every review gets more challenging with the way they're putting the words together. Better than the arcade and many play moves.
To me, it almost sounds like they're trying to sound more, I don't know, fancy or try to come up with new terminology and like be like the forefront of things, but they just kind of like sound stupid.
It don't make sense. Anyone at home, Stanley, say it out loud. Like better than the arcade and many play moves. And then it's and many play moves.
Hey, play moves.
Point on the end.
Hey, that kid on the basketball court, he's got some play moves.
Cutthroat says, I love Dragon Spirit for the Turbo. Yeah. Dude, yeah. You have this, right? Yeah, you have this one.
Yep. Yeah, we found that out a long time ago when we were doing our hunting. Back when games were cheap.
And now?
Not. You remember we can go into the pawn shop and barter with that guy and like get things discounted? Now? Not. The internet says this is $200.
You're going to pay. All right. Ed's up with a 5. Oof.
The TurboGrafx version was only a bit better than average, and the NES copy comes off even worse. Nothing spectacular about this shooter, as the graphics are not only average at best, controls okay, but just doesn't capture the excitement of the original arcade.
The arcade original, yeah.
My brain broke when he was like, graphics are only average at best, period. Controls, okay. Thanks, Ed.
I would say if they had the hyphen for point form, but that would take up too much space. But so,
no.
Anyway, this is the way it is. This is the way it is.
Spot. This is the
way. Do you remember when the Spot mascot became a video game?
Yes. Did I play said video game?
Anybody ever buy it? No. Nobody did. Who the hell out there ever said, watch me get roasted. Who the hell out there ever said 7-Up is my favorite soda? Not one person, I bet you said that.
I feel like back in the day, probably. I remember a lot of ads for 7-Up. And then didn't they have a Spot Sega Genesis game that was actually decent?
Yeah. This is the first of that, but it was just weird. There's like weird stuff like Yo Noid by Capcom for NES, and Yo Noid was the Domino's pizza guy. That was a game. This craziness. Anyway, the 90s. Spot is another one of those games that doesn't boast megaton cannon fire and ugly aliens, but still comes off as one of the better NES games. Spot is essentially a board game starring the 7-Up stars. Learning the game is easy. Mastering it is hard. You can say that about any. I feel like they have a list of generic things to say at the end when they don't have enough to say about the game.
Yeah, they're just like, what can we put in there?
Any game is easy to play. Mastering it is hard. I'm just saying. Sorry, Steve. I love you, buddy. I'm just saying.
Othello is not a terribly exciting game. Who would ever think that by adding a cute and popular character, you would change the way people would look at the game? In the 4-player mode, it's fantastic. It's a fantastic party game. Multiple skill levels are A+.
Hey, Will, what are you doing Friday? Do you want to have a party and we'll play Spot on NES? Said no one ever.
No.
Thought you were more of a Sprite guy, Jay Warlet. No. It was when I drank soda or pop, as we call it in Canada. It was Coke all day, every day.
Yeah, Jay loved his Coke. I still have a Coke Zero, like
yeah.
in there.
Off to Thunderbirds by Activision. Our favorite company. Thunderbirds
Old
is an
Activision.
unusual shooter that has no score, but rather a quest to beat. I hate the lack of points, but the graphics are well done. The action, while being sparse in some areas, is adequate to move the game along and keep it slightly above average.
I. Why does he keep putting that I at the end?
Because
that's twice now.
They don't look at it before it goes to print. That's why.
Somebody. Well, no, nobody's going to question Steve. Like big man Steve. You can't say nothing to him.
Yeah.
Activision has taken a tried and true method by designing Thunderbirds. This is not based off of like that old marionette show, right? No, it doesn't look like it. While this conservative method will not make a dog of a game, it seldom will make a mega hit. What? Make a dog of a game, it seldom will make a mega hit. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. As such, this time it came out average. Needs more imagination and creativity.
Listen, when is saying, like, I don't like, back in the day when someone was ugly, you would say dog. Dog is like the best animal on the planet. So I'm defending that word. It shouldn't be used.
Is that what that means? I didn't understand what it meant. I was like, make a dog of a game?
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it. That's why I wasn't understanding.
I think it's some kind of insult to the game, I believe. Make 7-Up yours. That was the slogan, right? Curb Stomp, if I remember correctly.
Monster Energy drink. Ooh.
Oh, I used to do those back in the Westmount days.
I got these ones, the Zoa Energy. I got them at Costco. They're like the zero sugar ones. Yes, I left a can here. I forgot to bring it upstairs, but still.
Needed for streaming, for sure. Genesis. 2 Genesis games. There you go. eSWAT, which was a really great side-scrolling shooter. This is the Master System one. Okay, we're not on Genesis yet. Sorry, this is Master. Wait.
Yeah, because the Genesis is still coming, right?
No, Genesis is out. Super Nintendo's not out yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. eSWAT on Master System 4. Steve says, I didn't find eSWAT exciting at all. The colors are bland and washed out. The action is slow and repetitive, and the game itself bears no resemblance to the arcade original in any way at all. Standard side-scrolling action, fair with a coin-op name. See? What does that mean? Standard side-scrolling action fair with a coin-op
name. I don't know what a coin-op name means.
Arcade,
coin-op is like an arcade thing, but is eSwap really a arcade name?
A standard action product with an arcade name.
So did we question this terminology back in the day, or did we understand it when we read it?
Well, this terminology didn't stick. Obviously, it evolved, and I'm glad because, or maybe it's just because we're so used to modern terminology, but
maybe. A good example of the new generation of Master System 2 games. The spark has gone out of the carts and Sega seems content on bringing out bland, generic versions of great arcade games. Could have been much better, only average. Wow, that actually sounds very harsh.
Well, they saw that Nintendo, and the Master System did great in Europe, by the way, but here it did not. But they saw that Nintendo was still kicking butt with the NES. They had their Genesis out. Nintendo was still going toe-to-toe with it. So I think they just kept dragging the Master System along, right? Because you could find like Moonwalker on Master System, Ghouls and Ghosts, and I played the Ghouls and Ghosts Master System one. They're not good, right?
Yeah.
Afterburner 2. Yeah, this is a arcade favorite for sure.
These have never been my type of games, though.
No, me neither. Dude, I tried this, Thunderblade, Space Harrier, all those Sega. I guess it would be a third-person shooter, technically. I don't like anything. You just got to keep moving your guy.
Yeah.
Right?
They've just never been my thing. Not that they're bad games. It just doesn't never like meshed with me.
Coffee, Ghost energy drinks, and some soda. That's a lot of water. Well, see, you have the caffeine or the coffee that kind of takes away some of the water, so it almost balances itself.
Coffee's all that stuff's made with water. There's water in all of it. You're fine. Just drink.
Coffee dehydrates you, though.
Yeah, you'd have to drink a significant amount for it to really take effect, though.
Coffee dehydrates you. I know. I was contemplating just bringing the pot and just drinking out of the pot.
Just get one of those big thermos mugs.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Afterburner 2 by Sega. 8 from Steve. Afterburner 2 is as close as you can get to the real arcade. While the backgrounds are not as detailed, they do animate and scroll very smoothly. The action is chaotic and non-stop, with stream-on planes attacking you all the time. Superb.
I'd give it a 9. Spectacular, phenomenal, awesome. Need I say more? This is the arcade game. Great scaling and barrel rolls is well executed, and all the details are in the home version of the game. The only thing missing is the special XE1AP controller. What the fuck is that?
See, to me, it seems like he's just excited that there's a port that's close to the arcade. Not taking anything away from Afterburner. Like I said, it's just another thing, but...
Is that just like a flight stick controller? Is that what he's saying? What?
Yeah, remember the arcade had the flight stick controller.
Yeah. Why doesn't he just say flight stick controller? I feel like bringing it out and calling it the...
He's the hipster.
XE1AP controller. You guys know that one, right?
Curb Stomp says, Afterburner was my jam in the arcade. Christoph says, Canada Ghost Energy, good name. Europe Monster, Black Tiger, Rockstar. We have Monster. I don't know what Black Tiger is.
I've heard of Ghost Energy.
Oh, have you? Okay. We have,
but Monster. I haven't heard of that. I haven't tried it yet. Sorry.
Afterburner had a flight stick controller in the arcade, so I guess it was the home equivalent. I don't think we ever got one on Genesis, but I think he's saying that he wishes there was. We got the Sega arcade stick, but it wasn't like the actual, what is that, an F-14 Tomcat or whatever the Top Gun plane is.
Sure. Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, we're going to have some words here, Steve. Splatterhouse. Arguably the greatest game on the whole console. 8? Come on, man. What are you doing here? 8 out of 10. Splatterhouse, while tamed down from the little screen arcade, is another fantastic example of how good turbo games can be. This game, albeit short, is challenging, graphically outstanding, with vivid blood reds and puke greens. I love it. I don't think it's that tamed down.
It seems pretty intense. Yeah. Though I've never played the arcade version, so I don't really have like a comparison. But I've only ever played that, and I remember it being pretty grotesque.
Yeah. And Rick has the white hockey mask in the arcade. Obviously, they changed it for obvious reasons why it's red, but 8. I mean, that's still pretty good. Sorry, go ahead.
NEC has another hit on their hands. The special effects and animation of the bosses are excellent, and the gameplay increases in intensity right up to the end. The ghouls are so revolting that they deserve to be destroyed, so give it your best shot. Thanks, Ed.
Do they deserve it, though? Did they ask to be ghouls? I feel like you get changed into a ghoul against your will. That's just what I think. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm looking into it too much. I don't know. But Matt says, how often do you see every score be the same from the reviewers in a single game? Not often.
Yeah. And I feel like when you see something like that, it kind of like represents like, yeah, this game's probably pretty good. Like overall, everyone seems to enjoy it.
Curb Stomp says, I can't wait to see Mike Tyson fight Jake Paul.
Oh, yeah, that's a thing. I forgot about that. Yeah. It's going to be on Netflix. It's like Netflix's first like live stream event or something.
I also heard Netflix might be doing commercials, which means that sucks.
They already do commercials. I subscribe to like the lowest tier of Netflix. And like they have commercials in it.
See, Tubi has commercials. YouTube has commercials because they are free. I get it. But Netflix I pay for. So if the one I'm paying for $20 or whatever starts to have commercials, I'm not going to pay for it anymore. Right?
Amazon Prime just started using I noticed on mine, like it never used to have commercials, and now it has commercials in it. And then they're like, oh, for $2.99 extra a month, you can get a like ad-free viewing. I was like, I fucking had that before, you assholes. That's how angry I am about it.
I wouldn't mind if they do commercials before the movie or the show. I don't care.
No, they stop midway.
Oh, see, that's not good. Tubi does that, but again, Tubi's free. It's pretty spectacular for being free. I don't know. Anyway, we're getting off topic again. Gaming gossip. Wow. It seemed like there should have been more reviews there, but
I feel like we went through a lot of reviews.
Yeah. Let's just see. Quarterman is our gaming gossip journalist who often goes to Japan to get the latest scoops, and he's usually right. Again, I love Quarterman. My gamer tag was Quarterman for a long time, actually. SNK's Neo Geo, while not officially existing anywhere outside of Japan, was shown to a closed-door meeting of developers and money men during the Consumer Electronics Show. Is this machine any closer to coming to America? With price tags that are just too hefty, I have to give a big thumbs down. Sorry to keep getting off the gaming beat, but the final episode of Star Trek, The Next Generation, has me wondering, if Picard gets killed, I'm through with the show. Q could show up and save the day, however. This is when he gets turned into what, Locutus, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is amazing. He just goes into it. This is like me talking about a game, then I'm talking about like Rise of Skywalker or something. Q could show up and save the day, however, so I'll wait patiently through the entire summer, bored out of my mind with reruns until the conclusion to this cliffhanger appears. I still want to know where the game is. We get New Kids on the Block, but no Star Trek. This is gold, dude. This is all gold. Where's the justice in this? While Gremlins 2 is a decent movie sequel, I still like the Sunsoft game a lot more. That was awesome.
Huh.
Locutus of Borg.
I'm trying to find one.
He's trying to find a small one is what he's getting at.
Easy.
These are all
right, fine.
These are all pretty big.
Yeah, they're all fair size this time. Now this is just the sort of rumor I live for. The latest gossip from NEC is that the Turbo, or some type of stripped down clone, will hit store shelves this Xmas for a mere $99. Will it be the shuttle graphics from Japan, which has no external ports? Or maybe they're just trying to get rid of inventory. Speaking of a major faux pas, who was the Einstein at NEC who decided the best place for the aspiring video game giant to be during the CES was in a building completely separate from Nintendo, Sega, and the rest of the real action?
Oh,
that does sound dumb. Caramba. I forgot he loves Bart Simpson so much. Dan MacArthur. Now you owe me one, buddy. Pick out a tidbit from one of the esteemed competitors. Quarterman gives a major sort of knee to Sega. Nay? I don't know what that is. To Sega for deciding to pack up another megatip book in with a hit RPG. Ruining Phantasy Star 2 was bad enough, but now must Vermilion endure the same punishment? Why can't you release the book in a couple of months after the cart hits the stores? Is he upset that their walkthrough comes out the same day and date?
No. So Phantasy Star 2 came with like a novel size, thinner book packed in with the instruction book.
Oh,
so
okay.
Sword of Vermilion, also made by Sega, also got one of those. Just how about this? Don't read it.
Yeah, that's why I'm confused. I'm like, why is he upset that it's there? Like, it just seems like it's just extra. Why be upset about it?
Just don't read it, man. Yeah, anyway.
You don't have the huge toll-free numbers to fund anymore, and besides, you could even collect some spare change from those gamers who feel the urge to cheat. Wow.
Will, we're in trouble. If Matt doesn't know what knee means, we're in trouble.
Yeah, Matt knows everything. So if that, you know what? Maybe it's just a typo. I have no clue what that means. Since we're on the issue now, let Quarterman plead for the record. Don't. I'm begging you, don't put Phantasy Star 3 players through the same thing. Enough said. I'm just going to go out here and say, Quarterman, like, you were just off on a weird tangent here. Like Jay said, you could just not read the book and just have it included, because more is always better when you're coming to spending money on games and value. I'm just saying.
Yeah, dude, you're getting a free strat guide. And some people don't like to be frustrated getting stuck in a big RPG like Phantasy Star 2.
Yeah. And you know what? Like back then, you get a strat guide with it, which is great. Nowadays, you got to buy it separate. So it's not even added in anymore. It's just more expensive if you want.
Think about this, okay? Phantasy Star 2, you get to, I don't know, level 3 dungeon, okay?
Yeah.
There's a wall you got to get past. You need a specific key for it. You don't know where the key is. Mm-hmm. What's the answer?
Look at the strat guide.
Or say there's no strat guide. What would you do? You get to the wall, you need the key. You can't go any further in this game that you've already invested, let's say, 8 hours into. What do?
Ask a friend?
You figure it out, man.
Oh.
You got to figure it out.
I would like call my friends who are also playing stuff and ask them.
But that's how old school and hardcore it used to be. If you couldn't figure it out, you couldn't get past there. Right? So my point to that, ladies and gentlemen, is that if Sega gives you a free strategy guide, use it or don't use it. Google it. No, we're talking about in 1990, buddy. We're talking about
Google was not around.
If you got stuck in a game in 1990, and it sounds like the game player hotlines were kind of dying or dead, you're screwed. You ask, like Will said, you ask your buddy if they have the same game. Hey, have you got past this part? How'd you do it? Mm-hmm. You figure it out, man. So I think that they should still put the strat guide with it. Put it on your desk. If you don't need it, great, don't use it. But if you get stuck, I mean, imagine being stuck and you're like getting so frustrated. I don't know. I don't like stuff like that. I like trying to figure it out. But if you really can't do it, I need the answer for it, right?
Mm.
Anyway, let's move on. Quarterman's off on a tangent today.
Oh, Quarterman!
Look at these two.
God, they're still here.
Legion of Doom, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Animal and Bash?
Hawk.
Hawk. That's it. Yes.
And yeah. Demolition, WWF. That was Hawk's. No, that was Axe and Smash, and this is Hawk and Animal at Smash.
I don't remember, man. That was a long time ago.
Whatever, man. International Outlook, Japanese games that might be coming to North America.
Battler Golf. I don't know what it. Battle Golf, not typical sports simulation games, graphics RPG loaded with hundreds of cinema display scenes drawn in rich detail. So it's like an anime, like an RPG golf game. I'm in.
I mean, that's certainly different. I mean, Atari had Ninja Golf. Let's not forget that one. There's your Shadow and Answer. Oh, what a great game. Fantastic game. One of the best. Right. We were trying to figure out Demolition was the WWF ones, right? And that was Axe and Smash. And Crush came later. I remember that. That was Bryan Adams, I think, was Crush, not the singer. Superstar Soldier. There's Ghouls and Ghosts. Is that for Super Graphics? Yeah, this is Ghouls and Ghosts for Super Graphics. Oh, man. Dude, I want that system. Do you know what? Can you Google it real quick so you know what I'm talking about?
I was gonna say, I know we've talked about it, but I've never actually
Super
seen
Graphics, the ultimate hipster system. It came out after the Turbo. There's only 6 games for it. It looks like a toy. It looks like a spaceship.
I was gonna say, it looks like a shuttle in Aliens.
But this was like, I loved I still love Ghouls and Ghosts, but back then it was like obsessed with it. I wanted a super graphics just for this version of Ghouls and Ghosts because it was arcade accurate. The Genesis one was damn good, but this one was like the exact replica. I remember
super
going
graphics
to, like,
on sale on eBay.
how
750. 750 with Daikamaru game. 405. This one's in box for 1,000.
That's Ghouls and Ghosts in Japan. That's what it's called.
Oh, well,
But
there you go. That's a good. There you go. That's a combo. 750.
You're not going to have a power supply though, right? You're not going to be. It's not going to be able to plug in here.
You just get a converter. I have a converter.
Mm.
And it just basically it works as I attach the outlet on the end, whatever I'm plugging in there, and then it has our outlets on like a power bar.
There you go. Well, now you know what to get me for Christmas, buddy. Super Graphics. Look at this little panel. This is really cool here. Sonic Hedgehog.
Hey, Sonic.
Coming soon from Sega is this exciting new action adventure game featuring one of the most unusual video game superheroes to appear on the screen in some time. Is Sonic Hedgehog. In Sonic Hedgehog, you control a super rodent on a mission to defeat the evil creatures that have populated your home. I don't get the Hedgehog connection, but the game is fast, fun, and colorful, due for release next year. I would say first appearance of Sonic right here. That's friggin' awesome.
Well, of the game anyways, right? Sonic appeared when he was like what car game was it? He was basically like hanging off of one of the arcade games that Sega brought out as a
no.
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Sonic's first appearance was in a racing game.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Okay, hold on.
Gotta Google it. I'm pretty sure his first appearance was Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah, they didn't even have a "the" in there. It was just Sonic Hedgehog.
Rad Mobile, 1990.
Wow, that's awesome. Very cool.
Hold on.
I didn't know that. I thought Sonic the Hedgehog was his first actual appearance. Oh, my nose. I'm sorry, guys.
Character inside. Yeah. Yeah, it was basically
Rad
like
Mobile.
One of those things you hang off of the rear view mirror, and it was just this hedgehog thing. And they're like, oh, we can make that as a character into the game. And then here we are.
We need something to combat this Mario guy who's taking all our money over here. How about that blue thing hanging from the mirror? Yeah, why not? Let's do it.
It played similar to Turbo Outrun.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. There you go. Fun fact of the day.
Sega gives EGM Game Gear Test portable close to production. Who had a Game Gear?
I did not. I wanted one. I was like, man, it could be in color. Like, I could play like Sonic. It'd be so cool. But like, I remember at the time, like it was like $200. A lot of money as a kid.
Till I got lucky and got transferred to the White Oaks EB Games as the assistant manager. And in the very back, by the back door on the top shelf, was a Game Gear for $4.99. Do you also remember going in the back of EB Games in Masonville and all those 64s? Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
$5 each or whatever they were, $10 each.
Yeah, I still regret so many of those clearance things today. Like, I'm looking back, I'm like, man, I should have got a lot of that stuff.
Do me a favor, just in front of the chat right now. Do me a favor. Go on eBay, look up Engage Games. Just real quick. I want to see your reaction. Just look up Engage Games.
Yeah, we talked about this.
Because they were blown out in EB Games for like $2.99, $3.99.
Yep. Yeah, like $200, $100, $130. Yeah. It's crazy.
And then if you want like the good ones like Elder Scrolls, Call of Duty, those are like
$338 for Elder Scrolls Shadow Key.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, we had bags of those. I think we actually threw out a bunch at one point.
Remember the Engage version 2 system was $9.99? Do you remember that when we liquidated those? Dude, crazy. TJ says, I wanted the one with the TV adapter just to be able to watch cartoons anywhere. Not for long, though, as the battery life sucked. Yeah, man. You got a nice, beautiful, crisp color lit up picture, which was great for the Game Gear. It was miles above the Game Boy, but the problem is, battery life, and I still don't think the games were that great. Nintendo still had better games. Just saying. But this is the TV tuner. The Turbo Express had something similar to it, which if you had either of those attachments for this portable, you were like a god. If you could walk to your buddy's house with the TV tuner, if it worked, like you were like a god amongst the nerds. For real.
Does sound cool.
Yeah, there it is. There. Look at this thing. Look how high tech that looks, baby.
Super fancy. Ow.
Oh, we were talking about this the other day, were we not?
Yep.
Here
Fire!
Konami introduces the new voice activated laser scope. Yeah, as made famous by James Rolfe, of course. But yeah, you would, for like what, Top Gun, you would shout out fire.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, did you ever want any of this stuff?
Not really. No, I don't know why. I always thought they were dumb looking. I'm like, I don't want like some stupid thing on my head. As I wear like a headset on my head now currently for like ever.
Yeah, but that does something. This is just a worse way to play a game in like every conceivable way. Dude, I'll tell you, if we find this when we go out, I want it. And I would do exactly that. I want to get like a mannequin head. That's a little creepy maybe. And then put this on it for display purposes. I want this for collection purposes.
Yeah, I can assume it as a collection purpose. You can get like a styrofoam mannequin head pretty cheap off of Amazon.
And then like put Kiss makeup on it. That'd be great. Moving on. The Revenge. Maybe that's where I got it. Ninja Gaiden 2, The Revenge. Everything's The Revenge when it's part 2 in the 90s.
Well, with ninjas, of course.
Everything else is child's play.
Oh, there it is.
Wow, we got all this crap. We got the Konami U-Force headset. We got the Power Glove. This thing sucks too. It sucks. I'm sorry. For anyone who likes it, it's cool to have it.
Does anyone actually like the Power Glove? I think it's just like a cool thing in like idea and concept, but I don't think anybody actually just likes it.
You want a Neo Geo? Do you want to see mine? I got one. I've had that baby forever. It's beautiful. You should get one, dude. I'm telling you.
I've always wanted one.
Child's play. We'll go through this for a sec. Let me go grab a few things.
Okay. Tricks of the trade, secret video game tricks, codes, and strategies. We got some for Target Earth. It's all for Target Earth. Oh god, I can't change the screen. For those that are interested in Target Earth, to get all weapons, you get all the weapons in the game. You must have exactly 2,800 points at the end of level 1. Then you get all the weapons in the game. Okay, it's simple. You just count to 2,800, and you get the games.
Sorry, I left you on the tips and tricks. I'm sorry. Yeah, I want to show this baby off. Here it is. Look at this baby. Look at this slot, man, right here.
Wait, can we slow this? Can we show the slot on YouTube?
Look at the inside of that slot, baby. Look how big and thick it is. Yeah, there's your Neo Geo. This is the original. There's also one that I got a couple of years ago.
Like the mini version or whatever?
Yeah, so it's like this, but it's about half the size. And there's a little button, and the shell actually opens. There's nothing inside it but a portable Neo Geo. But it has like 30 games on it. So there it is.
I wanted one of those mini ones. They're so expensive now, though.
Yeah, I got that at EB. I remember we got like one or two of them in, I think, at the time. Yeah. Put that bad boy there. I show to share with you guys. That's it. I show to share. Got that a jumbo video on Adelaide, Will. How about that?
Huh.
Back in the 90s. Yeah.
Good old jumbo.
They rented it out and I guess they were done with it. It wasn't making profit anymore, so they sold it. Yeah. Show and tell over here. Yeah. More tricks. We're gonna just pass all these.
Legendary axe again. I want to find a copy of that. I want to try it out.
Turbo ad. Yeah, this did get Game of the Year, I think, right?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Nintendo Player. We got stuff coming out high, like super hot, exciting movies, game adaptations like Hunt for Red October.
I still haven't seen that movie.
It sucks. I don't like it. I went on a date with a girl in high school. We went to see Hunt for Red October, and I fell asleep. Needless to say, we didn't have a second date.
Yeah, because you were snoring through the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm an idiot, and I fell asleep. But maybe it's too, I don't know. Whatever. Untouchables. Oh. So if we got Untouchables, why did we not get Goodfellas? We should have got Goodfellas the game. That would have been sweet over here.
Would it have? Probably would have been awful, honestly. It's probably better that you didn't.
Yeah, like this, like Untouchables. Who wants to play the Hunt for Red October the game? Think about that. Nobody even wants to see the movie. Why would you want to play the game?
Oh, G.I. Joe. Oh, and The Simpsons.
What is this?
Bart Simpson versus the World. What was that one called?
No, look at Simpsons. Look at.
Yeah, but the screenshots kind of look like Bart Simpson versus the World.
Simpsons has two eyes. Is my point.
Oh, I was looking at the screenshots, and I looked. It says The Simpsons in the capture. At least it seems fine. It's fine. It's good. It's good.
Two companies made G.I. Joe for the NES, Taxon and Capcom. The Taxon one is the first one. They're not bad. They're okay. It's really cool to see G.I. Joe. This is 90s goodness. We got Blizzard. We got Rock and Roll version 2. Good stuff here. Simpsons. Yeah. I believe this is Bart versus the Space Mutants. That was the first one, right?
Yeah. I feel like that's what it changed into. Because those like that's Moe's Tavern. I remember like you have to like drop stuff on them. It looks exactly the same. It's just lacking the aliens and bystanders walking around. I don't know.
Matt says yes. Let's play Goodfellas game where we commit federal offenses, kill people, and turn our buddies in at the end of the game for the boss. Yeah, I mean we do play that. It's called GTA. They've been making those for years. Remember the Scarface game?
Yeah. That was actually a good game.
Godfather, that came out too around the same time.
Not a good game.
I have Scarface on PS2.
Two? Yeah.
It was on the Wii though, also.
It came with the Xbox as well, didn't it?
Yeah. Who had Bart versus Space Mutants? I don't know what's up with this picture here. But I mean, The Simpsons is legendary, but back then it was everything. And this would have been just insane. This was before the Konami arcade game came out. It's great. G.I. Joe's not bad. If you're a Joe fan, check it out. It's a solid action game. The Capcom one's a bit better, but this one's pretty good. Ooh, there you go, Willie.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Caveman games.
Yeah, Daddy East.
Actually, have you ever played Caveman games?
Yes.
It's actually kind of a fun game, honestly.
It's silly. It's great.
But Turtles, yeah, Turtles. So good.
Yeah, this is Ultra, which was Konami's second company. Based off the arcade, the same name. A pretty decent home port. Very exciting that we got to play even a version of the arcade game. The original Turtles game for NES was hit or miss. I think we all tried to really like it. I'm not a fan of it. I think it's too hard. It's too stiff. Where's my "That's What She Said" button? I don't have it ready.
That's what she said.
You were playing that. I remember one of your early streams, or you did a short of it, I think, of you playing Turtles.
Yeah. They had that TMNT collection that came out.
Yeah.
I think I got a code from Konami for it, so I got to check it out on stream. That NES Turtles game. That's something.
Yeah.
It's not a good game. I remember liking it as a kid, and even though that seaweed area sucked, like the dam area level, but the rest of the game is just not good.
Like you guys can relate. Let's go back. You clearing out a stage to have to dodge an enemy and then move back, and all the enemies repopulate because there was no memory, so the enemies would just respawn again. It was like, I just did all this. Plus, Raphael, who's my favorite, there's no point in even playing Raphael.
Yeah, his size suck. He's just a sacrifice. What I would do is just like leave him alone and try my best to get to that dam level, and then I would just sacrifice Raph to get through.
Use Raph for it. He takes all the hits. Yeah.
Dale,
good morning, my friend.
Morning, Dale.
Good to see you. Matt says Turtles, X-Men, The Avengers ate all of my quarters in the arcade back in the day. Loved them.
Great games.
Yeah. All perfect games. Packers says Turtles game is one of the hardest games I've ever played. Ooh.
The thing is, like, it's not hard because like it's intentionally meant to be hard. It's a bad game that makes it hard.
It's not good, and I'm sorry for Turtle fans out there, but it's not good. I remember clearing the damn stage, then getting stuck on the very next level because I could never figure out how to pass it. Yeah. See, Matt just proved our point, Will. Mm-hmm. Back in the day, if you couldn't figure it out, well, that's it. You can't go any further. I mean, it was...
Then what you do? Yep, another game.
Hardcore, man, back in the day. Ooh.
Mega Man.
Fire.
I remember those Gremlin games being all right, too, though. They were bad.
Sunsoft is a solid company. They did Journey to Silius. They did Batman. They're great. Mega Man 3, man. Oof. I mean, how do you follow up Mega Man 2? You do it with this. I think Mega Man 3 was just as good. Just as good. I think 4 is where it started to wear out its welcome a little bit for me.
I feel like 5 and 6 redeemed it. I feel like everything past Mega Man 1, which Mega Man 1 is still a good game. Don't get me wrong. But like 2 really upped the bar, and like I feel like all those Mega Mans are great.
2 made up for the shortcomings, which were the levels were way too long in Mega Man 1, and they were way too hard.
Yeah.
Mega Man 2 is just boom, boom, boom. Great pace. Some of the best music in video game history is from Mega Man 2. It's just, Capcom once again at its finest. Gremlins 2, I never played. But the graphics look great. The cinematics, very impressive. Like for back in the day, that's pretty damn good.
It's fancy looking. Yeah.
Little Gizmo behind bars.
Oh, Gizmo, so cute.
Okay, links. Okay, bye. Skater.
Well, you're all about the links last issue. You're like, I always wanted one.
Well, I still want one, but we talked about it already. There's this guy here.
That's true. Hey, surfer guy.
What are you going to pay? Blue Lightning, Afterburner ripoff, Gauntlet. Okay, Gauntlet would be fun. Clax. Okay, maybe the links is great. All right.
Chips Challenge. Come on now. California Games. Amazing titles on the go.
For like 50D batteries. It's available at all major toy and electronic retailers. Call now.
Get that number down.
Nearest dealer. Skate or Die. Terrible port of a great arcade game. I'm sorry, Konami. I love you, but not good. Mechanoids. I don't know what the hell that is.
I've never even heard of that.
Jellico.
I never even heard of the next one either.
Princess Tomato and the Salad Kingdom.
What?
Oh yeah, Princess Tomato. Yep, that's one of those hipster games that I would stream. Yeah,
sounds right.
It's good, man. It's good. It's good. Harlem Globetrotters, the best, Jerry.
Wrestling.
Skull and Crossbones, another illegal Tengen game. Total Recall.
What is that dude doing to that lady?
Yeah, he's going to assault her, it looks like.
California Raisins. I remember playing that one. I like that one.
Capcom, and this really strange period where they were just grabbing all these licenses, California Raisins, and then they got the Disney stuff coming out. But they were great. Like, as we talked about, Chippendale, DuckTales, Tailspin.
And they just like made banger after banger. Like they were Capcom, man.
Oh, so Ski or Die. My bad.
I thought it was Skate or Die. Yeah, honestly, it looks like the same game.
Thank you. Almost. My Canadian education system, as JT would say.
I trusted you.
Total Recall. Did you ever play this? Dumpster Fire?
No.
Oh, it's so fun to play because it's so bad. Oh my God, it's so bad. It's the worst, but it's fun.
Werewolf? I remember the AVGN episode on that.
Total Recall.
It looks bad. Yeah.
Werewolf was a game that Rob got back in the day. Back in the day when, you only got 1 or 2 games a year. So I remember playing this one a lot. He loved it, but it sucks. Sorry.
Don't be sorry.
California Raisins.
That's how you feel.
Dungeon Magic, Swords and Serpents by Acclaim.
This is another like Wizardry Ultima type game. There's a lot of them. Swords and Serpents. Oh, there's Ultima itself.
Look at
Dirty Harry.
Look at this. Let's make a children's video game out of like one of the most adult R-rated cop movies out there. Well, I guess they made Total Recall. Like, again, this is that weird time when it's like you're making adult movies into video games, like Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th. It's like, this is why we are the way we are now.
Damn video games messed up our minds.
Maybe the parents were right. Maybe we should censor everything. Mr. Poshwell. Indiana Jones. There's 2 different versions of Indiana Jones. One by Tato, one by Tenjin. They both suck. Bad.
Big surprise. U-Force. 4 different games? Okay, you already know that's bad.
I think that's for use with the U-Force peripheral, right?
Is that screen thing you put your hand in front of?
Yeah, it's like that laptop.
Yeah.
Mission Impossible by Konami and Street Fighter 2010 by Capcom. It's not good. I'm sorry, it's not good. Yeah.
Capcom's one flop. You're allowed one flop. You get a stream of ton of great games, and then you just have one bad one. Doesn't mean you're a bad company. You just had one off. You
had one off. Journey to Silius by Sunsoft was a great game. Ultimate Basketball. Who the hell's American Sammy? Why do I not remember that company?
They're just Sammy now.
Interesting.
They do like a lot of fighting Japanese games, like Guilty Gear, I think now.
Oh, right. Okay. Again, Roller Games by Ultra, and you guys, I call Ultra Konami because real quick, back in the day, again, Nintendo had a seal of quality. They would only allow, I think it was 4 or 8 titles per year to be released on the console. Might have been 4. So Konami worked around that by opening another division, and they called it Ultra, but it's still just Konami. Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, they did like the Guilty Gear stuff.
Oh, okay. Right.
And then they got bought up by Sega, so they're part of Sega now. Sega Sammy, I guess it's called now.
Built to Win by Sita. Dr. Mario. He's a plumber. How's he a doctor now? Bootleg.
You can be anything you want to be if you put your mind to it.
This Hell Ride.
Silver Surfer?
The Silver Surfer. Whoa. Who wants to play a bullet hell shooter where it's one hit dead? I guess
you can't see most things until like they're halfway down the screen anyways.
Yeah. One hit dead. For one of the most powerful cosmic beings in the Marvel universe, he's pretty wimpy in this game. Everything kills him in one hit. Yeah. Dale says Werewolf Last Warrior is a good game. I like to have that game. Yeah, we're just talking about that. Rob liked that too. I never thought.
I never heard of it.
It was okay. Severus says our parents naturally assumed passing on trauma war as part of our childhood. I mean, I think that's part of our generation, right? It's just like I remember it was like you were never supposed to watch horror movies, but somehow I watched them anyway. And I didn't go out of my way to do it either. It was like don't watch Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street. They're not good for you. I watched them all. So I think it was just maybe they weren't as strict. I don't know, man. We're all warped. We're all messed up now. That's all I know. Final Mission by Tato, Matchbox Racers. Wow, there's a lot of stuff coming down the pipe.
Adventure Island 2, baby. No, that's one series I don't hear anybody really talk about anymore is Adventure Island. But those games are great.
They were fun. Yep, they were really fun. I mean, that's one I would love to see. Not a reboot, but let's have a sequel. Let's have Adventure Island.
Yeah, the last one I remember was Super Adventure Island on the SNES.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
I don't remember anything after that.
I mean, Alex Kidd came out for PS5, for God's sakes. We should be able to do Adventure Island, right? Let's do that.
I Google Adventure Island and it just comes up with Adventure Island in Tampa Bay, some theme park. Oh.
Blame your parents for letting us watch really scary movies. Vickman says, in those times, these games were so expensive in Mexico due to taxes and duties that I just read magazines, to know if they were okay. I always wanted Silver Surfer. Me too, buddy. I loved the Infinity Gauntlet, which was obviously after this, but I loved all the cosmic characters. A lot of fun, but that game was good thing you didn't get it because it's not very good. There's another one, Punisher.
The arcade Punisher game was fantastic. The NES one, though, not so good.
Yeah, the Capcom one. You have that on yours, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my arcade Marvel cabinet out in the den there.
You have the same one I got. It's got X-Men and Marvel.
Yeah.
And Punisher, right? Yeah.
I want to upgrade it. They have like an upgraded version of that includes like Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and stuff on there too.
Oh.
That'd be so sweet. They're so expensive now, though. Everything's too expensive.
They were around $550 when I got a couple of them. They were like $550, but I was also getting my work discount, which was nice at the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was like $4.99, $5.99 Canadian, but now they're up to like $8.99.
Are they really, dude? I haven't looked in a long time.
Yeah. I'm like, nah, it's not even worth it for that much.
It's too much. Jay, live today. Yes, Will's live.
Yep.
Will and I are both live today. Yep. You can check out Will, what are you playing?
I'll be playing we restarted our Enshrouded server for the community to play on. So we'll be diving back into some Enshrouded today over on Twitch.
And I'm copying Will. We're doing our community day for 7 Days to Die. So there you go. Yeah, just Christoph, make sure you check out Willie. Make sure you sub to him on YouTube here and give him a follow on Twitch.
Trying to figure out the YouTube stuff.
Yeah, he's coming back. He's going to be doing some YouTube stuff. Don't you worry. It's a tough balance when you're trying to do both. It's really tough. So all right, we're just kind of skipping through because of the time here. It's almost 12. There's a lot. As you guys can see, EGM was just kick butt on this. Oh, Beetlejuice. Who's going to see Beetlejuice too? Anyone? Not me, because I don't like Beetlejuice, but I'm happy for anyone else who's going to go see it.
There's a lot of people that love that series. I don't have much of a interest in that one.
Oh, I thought for sure. I don't know. You just look like a Beetlejuice guy.
What?
It's not an insult. I'm just saying you look like you would like.
I'm just kidding.
Something like that.
No, I thought the original movie was okay, and they had that cartoon back in the day. And like, what has been done with Beetlejuice recently? Like nothing. I just feel like they're just bringing this back out for like nostalgia.
Well, everything from the 80s has to become a thing.
Yeah,
it has to be.
I know we talked about Ghostbusters, but I am seeing that next week. I don't care what anyone says.
And you shouldn't. Back to the Future 2 and 3 on one cartridge.
And it's awful.
Who's Maddie McFly? I'm just kidding.
Hey, Maddie. Dewey the dolphin. Look at that murderous dolphin there.
Oh.
It looks more like a shark than a dolphin. And why is that king like sitting on a throne naked?
Only Dewey knows. Is
that King Neptune?
Google it. Did it come out? Dewey the dolphin.
It doesn't even say what's it for?
It looks like NES, so I'm going to say no. The Adventures. It's called The Adventures of Dewey the Dolphin. Might be an unlicensed.
The Adventures of Dewey the Dolphin. Some bootleg page comes up. Fandom, Etsy, Dewey the Dolphin. Unreleased. Not released.
Oh, interesting. Mo is going to answer your question by saying kings don't need clothes.
That's fair.
Dale says, I have the arcade Genesis Punisher game on a Sega Genesis cartridge. Nice, dude. I love Ghostbuster. I'm going to buy AMC popcorn holder that looks like a ghost trap.
So is that AMC that has it? There's one I saw listed, Cutthroat, that says Regal Cinemas. I don't even know what that is. I'm pretty sure we don't have that here in Canada. We have AMC though, but they're like in the bigger like Toronto has an AMC theater, and I don't want to drive to Toronto for that.
Well, our next issue we're going to do is issue 14, and we're going to have to continue this because I got to continue the other streams, so we got to get going here. So we will do. How close are we? Yeah. There's a lot, and I don't want to skip all this stuff. It's good stuff. I feel like I'd be doing an injustice if I flipped through it, so we could continue it.
This is a big issue.
Yeah, next
104 pages. Wow.
Good for next week, or
I think this is my weekend coming to work.
Okay. So in a couple weeks' time, we'll come back with the last part of this, and again, there's a lot of good stuff here, guys. So I don't want to just flip through it because of time. I don't think EGM deserves better, and you guys deserve better too. But right now, we are definitely 100% out of time. Out of time. Wow, I don't think I've ever said that on a stream.
Usually by the 2-hour mark, we're pretty much close to being done. But yeah, that's still a bit way to go. Memories.
Good conversation. Thank you guys from me, Willie, and the Neo Geo.
Thanks for being here, Neo Geo.
Thanks for hanging out. And come on over. You guys want to see some zombie adventures? I got some a few plans in mind of where we're going to go, what we're going to do today in 7 Days to Die. It's going to be fun. Make sure you guys also check out Willie at 2 o'clock on Twitch. That's it. We're out of here. I need a coffee. See you guys in a couple minutes.
Bye, friends.
Cheers.